the mind is constantly seeking ways to define a conceptual I, a conceptual story of me and my life, me and my experiences. And before we know anything about spirituality or the ego mind, that is happening unconsciously based on our environmental conditionings, the culture and the religion, the family values that we took on, grew up with. And an experience happens in life, and then the mind interprets the experience and defines it conceptually, meaning something about me. So we go to school, we get high grades, that's the experience, and then the mind defines that and says, I am intelligent, I am smart, I am a good student. Or we get bad grades and it says, I'm a bad student, I'm dumb. And a sense of self develops in every area of life. How other people relate to us, the experiences that we have, the emotions that we feel. Whether we feel we're successful, we have worth or not. As we start to practice presence and we become aware of the spiritual teachings, these conditionings start to come more into our consciousness, and we start to see how we're behaving a certain way based on beliefs that we took on externally. And when those beliefs and conditionings, behavioral patterns are seen by the conscious mind, they start to fall away. And usually that's when the mind, feeling a little bit identityless, decides to take on a new identity as the spiritual one. And it applies all the same tricks as before to the spiritual teachings and practices. Rather than seeking its sense of worth in materialism, it seeks a sense of worth in looking at how successful am I in the practice. I'm a good student, I'm a bad student. An emotion arises or an energy is felt in the body, and the mind seeks to define it. This means something about me. This means that I am a sad person, or I am an angry person. A thought arises of self-judgment. And then the mind tries to define that. Oh, I'm not spiritual, I'm failing, because spiritual people don't have thoughts of self-judgment. So because this thought is arising, it means that I'm not spiritual, I'm bad. Or an insight arises of beautiful wisdom from the deeper presence, and then the mind sees that and it wants to grab that. I get it. I'm more spiritual than them. I'm very spiritual now. Or maybe there's a huge opening and a beautiful direct experience of the true self as oneness. And then the mind tries to grab onto that. I've got it, I'm there, finally, everything I've been seeking. I am the enlightened one, that's the ultimate for the mind. But any idea or definition about who you are is not who you are. It's another conceptual self. So it's important that we're vigilant in recognizing how the mind now is using the spiritual teachings to create a sense of identity, either positive or negative, to compare. Oh, he or she is more present than me. He gets it more than me. Well, she's so much deeper. Just observe it and see it's the mind. And whenever the mind is judging an experience or an emotion or a thought as wrong or bad or unspiritual, recognize it. And as you recognize it, and you don't buy into its stories and its definitions and its interpretations and its labels, you just rest as awareness and allow whatever comes to come. There you will find your freedom. Not when the thought patterns change, not when the emotions change, not when the experience in the body changes, but when you let go of all invested interest in experience and form and allow your attention to dissolve fully into awareness. And stay here.